Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's your boy D Black coming back with another SmackDown review. Alright, well, this SmackDown, not a good one. No lead to what's happening tomorrow and Sunday at SummerSlam. I mean, tonight was just like I guess that pause. It was like, But anyway, I'm going to give this maybe a 1 out of 10. I mean, this show tonight was not really a good show. All right, well, we get started with Finn Balor. He's coming out and everything. He starts talking about, SummerSlam 10 years ago when he won the title and everything. And then, that's when he was in his highs of, his career and stuff. And then all of a sudden he got injured, so he had to give up the title and everything. And since then he's been clawing and scratching, trying to get back, to the top and, world title contention. Then as he was saying that, he feels like he's getting better and getting into that zone, then out comes Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is, telling him that, Sami's saying that he should be in the triple threat match, with Cody and CM Punk and everything and stuff like that, and started complaining about all that and everything. you know, um, and he said that he would like to see Cody win and everything, because he would love to, beat Cody because he's already beaten Cody because he beat Cody for the title. Then he said he wouldn't mind CM Punk winning and everything so he can go and beat CM Punk, like CM Punk did him, holding the title for 9 days and stuff. And then Sammy tells Finn, you know, he was sorry for like interrupting his interview, and then Finn tells Sammy, if he has something to say to him or anything, come say it to come in the ring and say it to his face and everything. And Sammy gets in the ring and he tells, Finn Balor that, 10 years, and stuff, and now he's, irrelevant and not doing anything and stuff like that, you know. Um, and stuff. And so he's saying, it took him 10 years to try to get himself into the, title hunt and stuff like that. You know, um, and so Finn Balor said, well, it might have took him 10 years to do it. And then he tells Sammy that he's had 10 years and he's had all those matches and he's failed in all the matches and stuff like that. So they get a little heated, in the moment and everything and stuff. And so all of a sudden, out comes Gunther, and Gunther comes out and he destroys both Sami Zayn and Finn Balor. I mean, he comes out and they just, starts, to brawl. And then all of a sudden, Nick Aldis, he comes out. And so Nick Aldis and Sam and Gunther, they're brawling and everything. I mean, it's just been nothing but a freaking brawl fest with these guys and stuff. So, it's crazy. And then we get a tag team match with Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green going against B-Fab and Michin and stuff. And this match, yeah, it's not a match that set up anything for SummerSlam though. It's just a match and stuff. And who really cares about the match? But anyway, the B-Fab and Michin, they win. You know, they set up a BTA, on Chelsea Green, and that wins the match for them. And then all of a sudden, Charlotte, Flair, she comes out and everything, and her and Jade, you know, um, looking at each other. Then Charlotte goes and tries to attack Jade, and they try to attack each other. Charlotte hits Jade with the knee and everything, and knocks Charlotte, out of the ring. So they stand, Charlotte, I mean, Jay's outside and Charlotte's inside, and they just stand and look at each other. So, and they're the ones that are involved in, the interim ladder match with each other for SummerSlam. And then Haku makes a return. You got Toma Tonga and Talla Tonga. They're in the back. They're talking and everything and stuff like that. Saying that hey, they got to do things and stuff like that for their family and stuff. They said it was best that they did leave. Solo Sokoa and start doing their thing. Start doing their own thing for their family and stuff. And then Haku, He comes out and he tells him to go handle business. Hmm. Then we have a tag team match for the AAA tag team titles and the World Heavyweight tag team titles. Damian Priest and R-Truth against the War Raiders. This match, it was okay and stuff. It went on and stuff, and they put a pretty decent match. And all of a sudden, in the match, as the match was going through, one of the War Raiders pushed the referee, which should have been a disqualification at that time. And then Damian Priest, he mugs pushes the referee away, and then it's a DQ. So it was like a no contest DQ, and so they go in and at each other. After that was called, then they just go in at each other. They start brawling, and they're brawling all over the stadium and stuff. And they're going out just doing their thing. And then after they finish brawling, get towards the ring and stuff like that, here comes Toma Tonga and Talla Tonga, and they just went through our true Damian Priest and the War Raiders and everything and stuff. And I mean, they went through them. And that little elbow shot, to Damian Priest from Tama Tonga, I mean, just took him out and stuff. So I guess Haku's gonna get his boys together, and they're gonna come and dominate. If they bring this type of energy and stuff, it could change the tag team titles into something. Because these tag team titles right now, they're in trouble because there's no prestige around them. There's nothing. So maybe Haku can get Tama and Tala Tonga together and make something of these tag team titles, make bigger teams come in after the titles and stuff, and they do something good with them. Hopefully that happens and stuff. And then we get a backstage promo with CM Punk talking to Kathy, and they're talking about Cody Rhodes, and he's talking about CM Punk's talking about their friends and all this stuff. See, this friendship thing it's just crazy. I don't understand this and stuff. I mean, it's okay, to be cool and stuff, but when you're talking about a title, it's a whole different thing. And then as he's talking, then Trick Williams comes out, and Trick is telling CM Punk, he'll be coming after him, you know, um, for that title, after SummerSlam and stuff and everything, because he said he's going to be the one to become the number one contender. And then CM Punk said, that he wished that he won that match, you know, and stuff, so he could be a part of it. And then he would go, and he said he was going to, beat Trick's tail and stuff like that. So they're gonna get their little heat together. I'm sure this is about to happen. It could be Cody, it could be CM Punk, either way. But I know Trick Williams is gonna be coming after that title and stuff. And basically, Trick decides, So we'll see what happens, after that, because CM Punk told Trick that he was gonna whoop that Trick, and then we get Nick Aldis, um a little promo with Nick Aldis talking about him being the GM and everything, and then him being a professional wrestler and stuff. Back in the day, because Nick Aldis was a wrestler before he became a GM and stuff like that, and he loved his job being a GM. And then all of a sudden, Gunther, is the one to put him in the situation that he's in right now, and so now he has to go back in the ring and everything. And he says SummerSlam, he is going to take Gunther down and stuff, but we'll see. He'll give Gunther some hell, but I don't know about beating Gunther. We'll see. And then everything. Then Trick Williams, he comes out for his little promo and everything. He's talking about Baron Corbin, and he tells Baron, and he calls Baron Corbin out to the ring and everything. And Baron Corbin comes out the ring and tells, you know, Trick that he has, no patience, And then he goes on and tells Trick that he's been given everything, and he was put up, as he came to, the WWE, he was automatically put to the top and everything, and so he tells Trick that he's gonna, at SummerSlam he's gonna beat him, some sense into him and stuff, And then Trick tells Baron, why is he here? All of a sudden just showing up out of nowhere and stuff. And he says he here to come just to collect the check. And the Baron Corbin tells him, that he's here to come, to beat some patience into him and stuff because he still continues to say that Trick Williams shows and has no patience. And he said at SummerSlam he's going to take the title and then and there's nothing that Trick can do. And then Trick tells him, he says, well, there will be no taking of any title here because all that's going to happen at SummerSlam is that we're going to whoop that Trick. And then that was the promo that was over. And then we get a match with Ray Fenix and JD McDonough, for the AAA lightweight title and stuff. And the match it was a pretty good, decent match. I mean, it was for what it was. JD McDonough showed a few things and everything, in the match. I mean, he had some great moves. I'm not taking anything away from JD McDonough. I mean, he's pretty good in the ring, as long as he's, with somebody else that has equal experience that he has. And Ray Phoenix, we already know that he's good in the ring, climbing the ropes, doing the things that he does. He's a high flyer. And JD McDonough was hanging with him in this match and stuff. But Dirty Dom, you know, um, he gets involved in everything, in the match quite a few times, and all of a sudden he gets caught, and then the referee sends Dirty Dom to the back. And as Dirty Dom's going to the back, then Danhausen comes out, and then Danhausen tries to curse, Dom, and then Dom, cuts him off, with a punch, in the middle of the curse. And then the little mini Hausens, they come out and they just attack, you know, um, Dom and everything, start beating him up and everything. And then Ray Phoenix, he comes off the top rope. He knees JD McDonough in the side of the head. Then he goes and takes JD McDonough and he gets him off the top rope and he puts him into the Mexican Muscle Buster and he hits it on him for the win. So Ray Phoenix wins the match um, with the Mexican Muscle Buster. And then we get the match with Lash Legend and Giulia. And I kind of knew how this match was going to end up. But they did give Giulia, most of the, match and everything is trying to beat, Lash Legend. And Lash Legend, all of a sudden, she gets Giulia into the position of the lash extension. She drops the lash extension on her. And 1, 2, 3, Lash Legend wins. And she will be part of the interim, ladder match for the number one, for the title and stuff, which would be interesting. And then we get the sick promo at the end with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, basically saying what they've always been saying in the back, that they knew sooner or later this match is going to happen. They've been trying to avoid each other for so long and stuff, but now here they are, and the match is about to happen and everything. You know, um, so I mean. We already know this and stuff, and they made really no argument, of why, you know, um, this match is the way that it is. They're talking about being brothers and everything and stuff like that, and loving each other, and stuff like that. This ain't no brother and love thing, man. One time CM Punk when he got here, he said he wasn't there to make friends. He was there to, win titles and make money and stuff. Well, he's a champion and he's making money. So where's this friendship thing coming in at and stuff? And then Cody said that he's gonna, change all that and everything because it's not about, it's not about business. It's personal now and stuff. So Cody's still pissed off because of the belt slapping him in his face, a couple of weeks ago and everything. And he tells CM Punk, at SummerSlam, that he's gonna take the title from him and stuff. And he said they don't have to do it right now and everything. They don't have to wait until tomorrow. They could go ahead and do it now and stuff. And so CM Punk starts taking his jacket off. Then Cody Rhodes starts taking their jacket off. Then they look at each other, get in each other's face and stuff. And all of a sudden, they start brawling. and stuff. So they're brawling and brawling and brawling and everything. I mean, it's still. I mean, I don't get it. So, and that's how it ended with them brawling and stuff. There was a brawl fest throughout the show again tonight, as it was, at Raw. All these brawls and stuff. Let's talk about it. Let's get some, booking together. Let's get some storylines together. Let's just do something. But Cody did say something that was pretty interesting. When he was talking to Trick Williams, he was telling, CM Punk, was telling Trick Williams that it's nice that he's coming at him because they do need new people coming and everything, and new faces as far as champions. And I believe Cody Rhodes said it too, in the promo that they had with CM Punk, and Cody. So yes, we do need to see new faces, new people coming in that's going to do something with the title and not sit on it and and disappear and go on vacations and everything once they become champion. So hopefully things change. Hopefully SummerSlam night one and night two will be as good as Raw and SmackDown has been, because they have really not shown anything, no build up, nothing to this PLE. But anyway, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling, if you agree or disagree with what I said and stuff. Thank you for watching. God bless. Deuces, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.